What's up, Yugioh? This is the Mermail Master, and today I have a very special deck profile for you. I'm going to be profiling my NIMBLE Fish OTK deck. Now, this is a deck that hasn't been seen in a while, but I still feel that it has a lot of strength in today's meta. And if not in today's meta, it's just a really kind of cool casual pick to take. NIMBLEs were never really supposed to be an archetype themselves, but for some reason Konami decided to release NIMBLE Angler, which really helped to cement the deck into a workable theme. And the deck focuses primarily upon Fish Monster and either rank 2 spam and then using Lemuria to try to get out higher level XYZ monsters. So one of the things that I really like about the deck is just its ability to spam as many things to the field as possible, create like massive fields of XYZ monsters, and it's just a really kind of quirky, fun, obscure deck pick for people who are interested. So moving on to the deck profile, I'll show you some of the cards that I play. This is a NIMBLE Coelacanth deck. So we're running Super Ancient Deep Sea King Coelacanth. So to start out with the deck, NIMBLE Angler. The NIMBLE Angler is the heart of the deck and the reason why it is able to be as strong as it is, really. NIMBLE Angler's effect basically states that you can, when it's discarded from your hand or deck to the graveyard, you can special summon any 2 level 3 or lower NIMBLE monsters from your deck. And that includes like things like your NIMBLE Manta. NIMBLE Manta is the worst one. When it's discarded by when it's destroyed by a card effect, you can special summon 2 more. That's a sort of common theme with each of the NIMBLes. But NIMBLE Manta's in here to just act as like an extra fish monster. And then the final fish type NIMBLE monster you run is 3 copies of NIMBLE Sunfish. NIMBLE Sunfish, believe it or not, this was actually shot to like $4 or $5 when NIMBLE Angler was announced. And NIMBLE Sunfish just basically, when it's destroyed by battle, ditch a NIMBLE to your graveyard, or ditch any monster of water type to your graveyard and special summon another NIMBLE Sunfish from your deck. So the basic play is, NIMBLE Sunfish is destroyed, ditch NIMBLE Angler to the graveyard, NIMBLE Angler special summons a Sunfish, or Sunfish special summons another one of itself, and then NIMBLE Manta, or NIMBLE Angler summons 2 more NIMBLE monsters. So for the price of 1 monster being destroyed by battle, you now have a field filled with 3 of them. So really kind of useful card. Great first turn play, especially if your opponent just summons a single monster and passes. You can activate your NIMBLE Sunfish and just get a whole bunch of monsters on board for your next turn. So that's it for the NIMBLE monsters. And now moving on to the heart of the deck right now. And the reason why it is so popular is 3 copies of the Super Ancient Deep Sea King Coelacanth. Coelacanth's effect states that you can discard 1 card from your hand to special summon as many monsters of the fish type as possible. So this is how you just basically spam the field with tons and tons of fish type monsters, such as any one of your NIMBLes, as well as 3 copies here of Royal Swamp Eel, which is a level 4 tuner that you can get out with that. 7 plus 4 is equal to 11, so you could go for a Star Eater. You special summon 2 Swamp Eels, you can overlay them for a rank 4. The only stipulations of Swamp Eel is that if you use it for a Synchro Summon, all materials have to be fish type, but it doesn't have any stipulations for if you use it for an Exceed Summon or any kind of summon in that nature. So those are the support cards that you run for your NIMBLes. And now moving on to the engine that helps you out the most, which is the Frog engine. We're running 3 Swap Frog. Swap Frog just basically allows you to ditch your NIMBLE Angler if it's in your hand. Just serves as an extra level 2 monster for making more plays, and just pushes the ability for you to make rank 2s. 2 copies of Ronin Totem, same deal, ditch it with Swap Frog, special summon it by banishing a swap or copy a Dupe Frog from your graveyard. So run 1 copy of Dupe Frog, just basically allows you to search that Swap Frog out from your deck, add it to your hand. Very nice. And then 1 copy of Metabo Shark. When it's activated on the field, you can, when it's summoned, you can shuffle back 2 fish-type monsters in your graveyard back into your deck. So it's sort of like a mini Pot of Avarice, and it's also a level 4 that can be special summoned by your Coelacanth. So very, very, very useful card. 1 Moulin Glacier. You can very easily control your graveyard presence, so Moulin Glacier is a just fantastic thing to be able to drop on your opponent at the last second. 1 Aqua Spirit, same deal, drop this on your opponent when they are in damage, and you can actually use its first effect to be able to switch something your opponent controls on their turn to defense position, and they can't use it or attack with it for the rest of the turn or change its battle position. So it's like something that has a nice bonus locking effect. Only problem with it is that it does target, so that's something that you might have to watch out for. And the final 2 monsters of the deck are going to be 2 copies of Exodius the Forbidden One. You go through your Nimbles fast in this deck, and Exodius just allows you to shuffle them all back into the deck so you can reuse them, and is also a special summon free level 10 monster. So if you get a whole bunch of Nimbles on the field and you want to go for like a Gustav Max or something like that, you have the opportunity and the ability to do so. So that's it for the monsters. Now moving on to the spell cards. The spell cards are probably the most important cards of the deck, and starting out here with 3 copies of Lemuria the Forgotten City. Lemuria is treated as Yumi, but its most important effect is it allows you once per turn to raise all the levels of your fish, sea serpent, or aqua type monsters by a number equal to the number of fish, sea serpent, or aqua type monsters you control. So the idea is to basically get multiple Nimbles out in the field. If you have 2 Nimbles out in the field, you can increase each of them by level 2 and go for a rank 4. If you have 3 out, you have 3 level 5s and can go for a rank 5. And sometimes a great play to do is, if you want to get a certain level, for instance, special summoning a Swap Frog plus 2 Nimbles, and then whether or not you want to go for a rank 5 or a rank 4, activating the effect of Lemuria when you have the Swap Frog on the field or not, to basically control what levels you want to have. So that's another reason why Swap Frog is there, is for like that easily removable ability to be able to push forward your Lemuria plays. And I'll show you some of the XYZs that you can go into off of Lemuria, and even some of the Synchros. Next is 2 copies of Twin Twister, or 2 copies of MST, my bad. I've been thinking about running Twin Twister in the deck. I'm not sure how I feel about it at the current time, but it's something that I'd like to test in the future, especially with its interactions with Nimble Angler. Though I'm finding myself not having as much stuff as I wanted in my hands, so it's something that I'm looking to do. But I feel like Twin Twister could be a good card to run in the deck. 1 copy of Foolish Burial, dump Angler, dump whatever you need. 1 copy of Soul Exchange. This can just as easily be a Stormforth, and should actually probably be a Stormforth. It's just something that's a placeholder right now and testing out with Coelacanth. It's either going to be this or 1 copy of Tribute Doll to, you know, if you summon a monster, then you can special summon a Coelacanth and straight from your hand by tributing it off. It won't be able to attack, but then you can like activate its effect and just make more pluses. The problem is Coelacanth, even though you run 3, it's not easily searchable, so that can create some problems down the line. 1 Salvage, you run a lot of low-level fishes. 1 Terraforming, really, really, really good card. Searches out your Lemuria. And then finally for the spells, 1 copy of the Moray of Greed. Moray of Greed is just basically here for in case you draw an entire hand filled with Nimbles, you can just send that back to your deck so you can easily access them later, and then draw 3 new cards. Moray, I've seen it run in a lot of builds. in just any water build in general, just allows you to recycle your hand and make more plays. And now moving on to the trap cards. There's a very, very low trap card count. 3 Call of the Haunted for just reborning anything that gets sent to the graveyard. Increasing your levels for Lemuria play. Special summoning back a Coelacanth to use for next turn. Really, really, really good card, and I think it's a necessary at 3. And the final trap of the deck is going to be 1 copy of Torrential Tribute. Coelacanth also has the ability to protect itself when you have other fish-type monsters on the field. So a Torrential Tribute play that keeps your Coelacanth on board is something that's really, really strong, especially in, preventing your opponent from making a giant pendulum push or from getting multiple monsters on the field in PKBA. Torrential, I think, even though it destroys, still gives you a lot of chance to just push off your opponent for a turn in order to make your plays go through. So that's everything I have for the main deck. And now moving on to the extra deck, do note that I do not have some of the cards in here. I'm currently looking for them, but cards such as Daigusto Phoenix, Volcasaurus, Zenmayo, other rank 5s, it's basically like up to you what kind of things you feel best encapsulate the meta. So I'm going to give you like a sample 15 card extra deck here, and you can make changes to it as you will. But this is what I've been testing so far, and I've been liking it. So to start off, 1 copy of Gachi Gachi Gentetsu. If you've been playing back in like 2010, 2011, you probably enjoyed the opportunity to be able to play this card again. Really, really fantastic card. Increases attack power. Self-explanatory, prevents destruction. Kind of like the precursor to Zen Mines. 1 Dark Mist. Cool card. Really, really like it. You can make it very easily. 1 copy of Armor Kappa. You have 2 water monsters in here. Discard a water monster to your graveyard to protect. Allows you to basically discard an angler on your opponent's turn. Get, a sunfish or something out, and then just basically make more pluses. Sky Cavalry deals with threats that you just do not want to deal with. Nice rank 2 support. And moving on to the rank 4s, 1 copy of the new Hope Wolf and Dragon Spider Shark, just for OTK potential and ability. It decreases all your monsters' attack power and doesn't target. Castel, self-explanatory for its bouncing effect. 1 Dweller. Been thinking about bumping this up to 2, but I've been liking 1 so far. It's just a very strong play against most of the decks this format. For any pendulum decks that, any deck that can make this card. You can stop PKBA, you can stop a Cosmo Banish, you can stop, pretty much almost any deck. Like XYZ Monarchs will get like stymied by this card. So usually first turn Dweller is a very good move. And then the double Duofecta of Bahamut Shark and Mermail Abyss Trite. 2 very, very good cards. And you'll see why I have the Mermail Abyss Trite in here. Anyway, when I show you that I'm running 1 copy of Mermail Abyss Gaios, the deck can make a lot of rank 7 plays very, very easily, and having Mermail Abyss Gaios on the field and being able to just get it back at the drop of a hat is a really, really strong play that you should consider. 1 copy of Big Eye, steal your opponent's monsters, pretty self-explanatory, very good card. Dracosac, make tokens, protect itself. It's not really as good as it used to be, but the tokens give you a lot of opportunity for Synchro and XYZ Synchro fodder, and just extra monsters on the field and extra protection. Granted, there's not a lot of non-targeting. There's a lot of non-targeting removal right now, but having the ability to have a Dracosac as just like a protectionary measure that you make with like very, very few resources can just be a little bit, it can be like a easy thing to go into. And then finally for the synchros, I've chosen 3 synchros. However, you can choose whichever synchros you want based on your personal preference or the meta that you're into. And I've chosen Star Eater because of its ability to be summoned with a Coelacanth and a Royal Swamp Eel, just very, very good card, helps out with your OTK. 1 copy of Clear Wing. I don't really find Crystal Wing to be able to be gone into that often, so Clear Wing is just a better option in my opinion for its ease of use and ability to be able to gotten into. Provides that extra blanket layer of protection. Crystal Wing only protects against monsters, and Clear Wing also has that spell trap and targeting protection, so I think it's very, very useful, particularly in this format, in stopping, you know, any spell or trap card that would target it. And then finally, 1 copy of Stardust Spark Dragon for your level 8. You can choose any level 8 monsters you want, but I personally decided to go for Stardust Spark. Lately, Stardust has been getting a lot more favor, the original one, but Stardust Spark has the ability to be used on your opponent's turn and can protect like back rows, protect like a Call of the Haunted if your opponent wants to pop it, you know, protect like whatever you have out on the field, like your Lemuria. So just having that ability to not have your card destroyed can be a very, very crucial part of the game. So those are the 3 synchros that I've chosen. It's a 15 card extra deck. And you know, you can basically choose like whatever you want to put in the deck, but this is personally what I've decided to go with and what I think is the best way to deal with the current meta while giving you a nice spread of XYZ monsters and toolboxing to go into. So that right there is my NIMBLE deck. 40 card main deck, 15 card extra deck. Side deck, you can put like pretty much anything you want in there. And you know, have a lot of fun taking this to your local tournament, or to like, you know, I wouldn't say that it's on the level of like a regional or a YCS, but it's definitely something that you could, you know, play for fun, or like a casual deck that you could play against some of the other casual deck profiles that I have up in here. So once again, thank you very much for watching my NIMBLE deck profile, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Please remember to comment, rate, and subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh videos just like this one. And this is the Mermail Master from Team Time Riders, out.